You know the feeling. You are cruising through your workday and then you get the ping. You completely missed a client call because the meeting invite went to your freelance calendar, but you were looking at your full-time job schedule. Google Calendar is the scheduling backbone for most of the professional world, but it has a built-in blind spot. It was designed under the assumption that you only have one identity, but that is not how we work anymore. You likely have a corporate account, a personal Gmail for family events, and separate addresses for freelance clients. Keeping these schedules isolated inevitably leads to collisions. You end up double booking yourself, exposing private appointments to your boss, or missing commitments entirely because you forgot to check your fourth browser tab. This creates a constant tension between visibility and control. Because standard sharing is read-only and separate profiles keep windows isolated, you are forced to choose. Do you want to see everything in one place, or do you want the ability to manage those events? The right answer depends on your specific workload. We are going to break down the technical setup you need, based strictly on the number of accounts you actively manage. Choosing the wrong setup either leaves you vulnerable to embarrassing scheduling overlaps, or wastes your money on over-engineered software you do not actually need. For basic multi-account management, Google's built-in calendar sharing is the zero-cost starting point. To set this up, you open your primary account settings and manually subscribe to your secondary Gmail address to pull its data into your main view. The outcome is immediate. You get instant color-coded visibility of your personal or freelance events directly inside your primary workspace. But there is a major trade-off. Native sharing is strictly read-only. If a personal appointment shifts by an hour, you cannot edit it from your work login. Additionally, incorrect sharing permissions risk exposing the exact details of private medical appointments or side hustle meetings to your corporate IT administrators. To achieve actual editing control, you must use Google's native workaround, Chrome Profile Separation, which splits workflows into entirely distinct browsers. By creating separate browser instances for each Google account, you grant yourself uncompromised editing control over every individual calendar. The glaring flaw with Chrome profiles is it does nothing to protect you from external booking links. If a client uses your Calendly link, it only checks one profile, leaving free time completely exposed to double booking across the others. Google's native tools are completely free, but they force a harsh compromise. You either settle for read-only convenience, or you manage a chaotic desktop that still leaves your schedule vulnerable to overlapping meetings. That specific blind spot becomes a massive liability when you need to hand out external booking links, but your availability is scattered across 3 unlinked accounts. This is where third-party availability sync tools like Reclaim.ai or Calendly's multi-calendar feature come in to solve the problem. This diagram illustrates how they work. You grant API access to an aggregator, and it acts as an overarching air traffic controller for your availability. These tools automatically block time, calculate buffer zones between meetings, and verify your open slots across every connected account before they ever show a client a single open slot. Implementing this requires trusting an external third-party company with your private scheduling data. It also introduces a recurring monthly subscription cost to secure features that Google Workspace likely should have built in natively. These aggregators automate your defense against double bookings, allowing you to buy back the mental bandwidth lost to daily scheduling anxiety. But even aggregators and basic browser profiles hit an operational ceiling. That usually happens when you take on 5 or more distinct client or business accounts. At that scale, juggling that many simultaneous identities triggers Google's security protocols, forcing constant session timeouts and logouts across your workflow. The specialized solution for this volume is browser isolation, using an anti-detect browser like Sendwin. You route all your calendar and account management strictly through this isolated, sandboxed environment. This maintains permanent, conflict-free logins for an unlimited number of Google accounts in a single window, without ever triggering a security logout. This is absolute enterprise-grade overkill for someone with only 2 accounts. It is an investment specifically designed for agencies, consultants, and serial entrepreneurs. When account management scales from a personal chore to your actual job, specialized isolation infrastructure is required to eliminate the massive friction of constant reauthentication. So let's look at the recommended tiers to help you choose your setup based on your exact weight class. This flowchart organizes your decision based strictly on account volume, splitting into 3 distinct paths. If you fall into the basic balancer category, managing exactly 2 accounts, you should stick entirely to Google's native sharing. Set your personal calendar to share only free/busy data with your work account. This costs nothing, protects your privacy, and prevents basic scheduling conflicts with your coworkers. If you are a juggler, handling 3 to 4 accounts, combine Chrome profiles for manual editing with a third-party aggregator for availability checking. The $10 to $15 monthly fee is a worthwhile investment to eliminate the anxiety of external scheduling links double booking your time. And if you are a power user, managing 5 or more accounts, you may want to move away from standard browsers and toward a sandboxed multi-session browser like Sendwin. This approach eliminates the friction of manual reauthentication in session timeouts that inevitably slow you down when you reach this scale of client management. You should only scale up your tools as your actual scheduling pain points scale up, and your workflow requires things to lock into place. Don't optimize for a problem you do not actually have. Start with free native sharing and only buy your way into advanced software when a missed meeting finally costs you more than the monthly subscription fee.